Well, if you think you have to live with hip pain or hips that snap, think again. Dr. Michael Tanner can perform a procedure called hip arthroscopy that can change everything. Keith recently sat down with Dr. Tanner at Central States Orthopedic to learn a little bit more.
So, Dr. Tanner, 27 years been practicing in the Tulsa area, hips, shoulder, and the knees, but hips, though, is kind of a special place for you.
Yes. I like a procedure called hip arthroscopy. For the past 11 years, I've been developing and working on this procedure where we use a lighted telescope to sneak into the hip joint to check out disease, damage that can cause chronic hip pain, chronic snapping and popping within the hip. And so I'm pleased that you came by.
And this also has to do, I mean, if they're very active, it can start when they're a teen up to being a senior citizen. I mean, anywhere in that age group, they could fall within that range.
Yes, I treat people of all ages, from teenagers that have sports injuries. I see lots of soccer and gymnastics folks, and then also senior citizens that can have tendon and cartilage tears in the hip.
In this procedure that you do, it's really kind of a novelty, as you're saying. There's not a lot of folks in our area that do that. Some doctors or even orthopedists will send their patients to you.
Yes, that's correct. As far as there are very few doctors that do this procedure.
Okay, so they're referred to you, they come in, you check out their symptoms, you do an examination, an x-ray, possibly an MRI would then be the next way to go,
Yes, that's a common way that we evaluate people. Lots of times people can tell me about what their problem is. They'll give us tips about what the problem is. Your point's well taken, is that oftentimes I'll see people that have hip pain or snapping in their hip that cannot be determined, or other doctors have not been able to define what the problem is. So you're right. First we want to define the problem. As far as, yes, we use x-ray, MRI, or that is where we use a big magnet to make nice pictures of the cartilage and tissues and tendons around the hip joint.
And any number of those things could be a problem. You also mentioned the labrum, which is a part of it that could be torn, that you guys can go in and surgically repair that. So there's any number of things, which is why it's so important for folks to have that pain checked out.
Yes, there are lots of things that can cause a person to have hip pain, cause them to have difficulties getting in and out of their car, or feel a snapping as they try to crawl out of bed, or even with their sporting activities.
Okay, so if someone wants to come in and have this done, should they just have their doctor refer them, or can they just go ahead and call and make an appointment?
Either. As far as whatever person is comfortable with, there are lots of doctors in the area that know that I am interested in people with hip problems, and yes, I'm happy to see people.
And that's Central States Orthopedic. They're located at 6585 South Yale in the William Medical Building. And give them a call at 481-CSOS or 481-2767. You can go online to csosortho.com, or you can go to michaeltannermd.com.